we started a foundational IT program to move to cloud at the beginning of the year. We've moved a significant chunk to cloud already for the key kind of internal apps. We're now going to start the journey of moving some of our other client data into these different regions effectively. So we obviously we're communicating with our clients at the moment in terms of we're going to be migrating your data. Obviously it's held where it is today. This is active clients and inactive clients, because obviously the right to be forgotten. That will solve a lot of problems because we are on a tech stack that hasn't been invested in for a very long time. We have now invested in it. We're now moving cloud. We're looking at better performance. We're making sure that, if you work on multi-jurisdictional matters, so if I'm working in China and then I move to work on a matter in the UK, for example, how we keep that data flow consistent. We don't want to have to log into two systems. Again, we need the party lines to separate the data effectively, but there's a world we live in now where, we need to be hybrid in the way we work. COVID brought that in. So we've designed an architecture which supports that, but also controls the data. To us, the only people we want to have access to the data is ourselves. We will provide it to the clients themselves in the right manner, the right controls. So the architecture had to cater for both of those. That wasn't a quick architecture to come up with. However, based on experiences of previous organisations, we had one that we knew worked. Now, there was a particular, obviously, project that we started that's got a huge volume of claims against it. So we said, well, this will be a perfect test case to bring this in and effectively enrich all the data that's coming in and do all the work for us, effectively take our heavy lifting away from us. So for us, we looked at, we need to automate this step in the process, and it's the start of the process. So you'd almost say, let's start here. It makes perfect sense. And that's when we started going, well, what providers are out there that we can go and use that can service our needs specifically for, the customer being a consumer or being a company.
There's a cost in transformation, and how important is it for you selecting the right partner when approaching these projects?
100%. I think for us, I've got a very clear vision, which is I don't want to work with providers. I want to work with partners, because in all transformation programs we've probably all been involved in, they've never gone to plan. There's been issues, there's been challenges, and it's how you work with that partner, I think, is the key thing. And having that
scope creep.
Scope creep
happens all the time.
Exactly. External factors come in, suddenly something's changed. All these things happen. Change of management teams. There's a million of different things that could happen. And from our perspective, it's how do we work with someone that we can just get on a call, pick up the phone and go, look, we've got these issues, this has arisen, what's the plan? And to have a frank, honest conversation without being the first thing of going, let's pull the contract out and see what's in the contract, to me, it enables that transformation journey to continue. It doesn't stop it. If anything, it puts more comfort blanket around it.
So what was one of the main factors for you selecting Red Flag Alert as a part of being this test case that has so much more potential within your organisation? What was the sort of one thing that made you go, this is a partnership that I think we can invest in?
I think the technology was a big driver from us. Obviously our technology teams met early on, and this is the requirement set, and I think also to work correctly with partners, you need to come to the table with your set of requirements that are very clear and work through why and what are the SLAs, what do we need from people, what's the timing we're expecting, what's our gold standard, and then have that frank conversation. What my team came away very quickly was they can do all of it out of the box day one. Now then we said, well, can we customize it for other workflows, because this test case we've given you, this user case, isn't the whole world. And that's when your technology started to shine through to us and say, actually, we can customize the workflows for you. The APIs can be changed specifically for this, but it's all within one wrapper and one container. It's not, we've got 50 different APIs. We've still got one. We've just changed the workflows on it. And so my team came away going, we can make this work with all of our platforms now as a single feat. And for us, the technology was a big tick for technologists anyway. But also I think just, looking at your background, who you work with, who your current client sets are as well, you've established yourself as a real market leader, and from our point of view, you give us a lot more data than probably other competitors would give in the same marketplace when we did kind of the tick and flick of yourself against other firms. And the technology gave us comfort, and we've seen firsthand that was the right comfort to have as well. I think you're always dubious when plans get put out in front of you and timelines, because like I said, there's so many external factors that can change. However, the open communication and even having your project managers on my back to get stuff done as well, and that's a real thing of not being scared to go to the clients and saying, you're missing out, you're not doing this, we need this done, we need this escalated. That total relationship to me was a very flat relationship. There was no hierarchy, there was no one scared that you couldn't talk to anyone, which was great. And we hit the dates that we said we were going to hit, well, you guys hit the dates you said you were going to hit, and then my guys kind of dovetailed into it. And I think that very much is a real sign of trust in terms of you put us front and centre. You committed to us and you honoured it. It wasn't easy, as we all know, but we addressed those problems very quickly as a team, as a collective, and that for us gave us confidence to say, right, this is the solution now globally, what we want to drive. And to me, that's critical, and I think that's why we're quite selective with our partners. We don't tend to refer to people like yourselves as vendors. We literally do see you as partners in helping us on our journey to enable our success and our business drivers that we want. We are driving a mantra effectively across technology where we see it as a platform view, not an application view. So to us, I don't want anyone knowing what application we're using. I want them to know I've got a billing platform, or I've got a case management platform, or I've got an onboarding platform. If it's made up of 5 or 6 applications, it should be irrelevant and it should be a seamless journey through the stack for the end users. Now, having a single API to go to, is less points of failure, to be frank, but secondly, it holds true to that mantra of we want a simple architecture. And we want an architecture that plugs in together, because we might change things, we might not change things, but we want to have the option to do it and not sit here and be, we've got a legacy integration that we've then got to unwind.
In an organisation like yours where you're dealing with global businesses, how important is it for you to partner with the right partner who can give you the confidence that you know exactly who you're working with, whether that's domestic or internationally, and that you can be confident that with the level of insights that Red Flag Alert's invested into ultimate beneficial owner insights, it gives you that confidence and to your wider team?
No, agree. Comfort is probably the biggest piece, right? Is leaning on a supplier like yourself, or even a partner as yourself, is to give us the confidence and the comfort factor that you've got the data sets to give us. That doesn't mean it's got all the answers involved in it, but what it does mean is it's giving us a source of data which is reliable, that we can lean on, that we can actually sit there and go, look, we haven't just relied on a human keying in some information from an email to tell us that they're the UBO. We've actually pulled it from a third-party data source. It's a reliable data source. Here it is. We've got the checks, we've got the balances, we've got the trails through. I mean, even your UI looks really good. It shows us that whole flow through. We've got an artifact effectively to lean on from a risk and compliance perspective to say, this is the output, this is the evidence where we've got to. Now, it's a great subject because UBOs can change all the time, right? And they constantly change. And that's one thing I think, certainly your guys, in you as a company, is a differentiator, is it's the constant reviewing. It's not one and done. We just get the alerts, this has changed, this has changed, this has changed, which keeps us even more compliant because it keeps us on our toes as well, saying that we've built a process not only to onboard, but also to review and to contain it going forward. And there might be multiple changes in this UBO world, but we're factoring that into the technology that obviously you provide us and how we manage that further down the street.
You've seen that information being used at sort of board and partner level where you're able to, with technology and data, be able to articulate, of this risk in our WIP, this is what we should really be prioritising.
So that's on our roadmap now,
right.
Obviously with the data that we get from Red Flag.
Yeah.
We are going to drive that in and say this is what we're seeing for performance and companies and payment things, etc. That's certainly to be added into that risk piece. We manage it very closely. Obviously cash flows, you can imagine, is a big challenge for every law firm, which is money coming in, money going out. So it's already actively monitored, but there's obviously, as I said earlier, more we can do to enrich that data feed to say, here's your £10 million WIP. We believe there's a risk of X at the bottom here. What do we want to do about it? Do we want to mitigate the risk? What steps, what actions, what process do we want to put in place? What
were sort of the 3 main areas where you're seeing heavy costs to sort of client onboarding and the impact that was having on your overall cost of acquisition?
So I think I would say high level was people, process and technology.
Always comes down to those 3.
It does, doesn't it? So firstly, the people cost. Onboarding more clients and more clients requires more people in the UK to effectively go through the checks and run the balances and get things done. The process itself was backwards and forwards, constantly, trying to get more data. It might be 1 email, it might be 50 emails, it might be 50 emails and 3 calls. It was constant. And then ultimately there's different technology solutions being used on how they find the data from different data sources or different historical apps and legacy apps. So what we saw was by bringing one solution in, obviously for the Red Flag pieces, to drive that client data enrichment as automated as possible. It's also 24/7. We're not waiting 9 till 5. We've got clients all around the world, but effectively reliant on some business services teams just in the UK base. Yeah. So for us, we wanted to produce something that was enterprise ready, enterprise grade as well, but to move those people that are doing repetitive tasks where you're going to see a lot of people leave because you're doing the same thing over and over again, to go into other parts of the business where they can be much more valuable to us as a firm.
Yeah. I suppose fast forward to today, have you now seen those changes now you've implemented that type of solution?
So we've certainly seen changes come through in terms of the time to onboard clients being significantly faster. I think also the data that we get in as well is much cleaner, much faster, because some clients, put data in that they've just typed quickly. We're now seeing a piece. There's a value to be added now to go back to the client and say, this is what we've got on you, is this correct or not? That's coming into the new platforms that are arriving next year as well, so we're going to see that firm-wide as we go forward. But from the schemes that we're using on at the moment, it's 100% created a benefit, because we're not having to hire people to do the onboarding. We've actually automated it, and then we can just bring them on for the litigation work at the back of it.
So this work that you're doing with us at the moment, is this something that you're looking to roll out across the entire organisation?
100%.
Yeah.
Globally. It's the way forward, I think. Obviously, the size of the database you've got for our clients, our client base of where we are, but also, we're looking at it from a perspective as well, in terms of, we do work with certain clients in the UK today. Well, they're global clients, so we should be building those relationships and putting that hierarchy through as well, where you are, gives us this data, not just for us today to look at this from a UK or a global perspective. We want to drive to the world where we have a global list of clients, we have a local list of clients, and we can see those changes and that enrichment going forward. We've gone around the firm and we've kind of looked at the pain points across the entire process, end to end, from the very start of the value chain to the very end of the value chain. We have to constantly look at what the pain points are, and it's a continuous improvement thing, because by solving one pain point, you could ultimately create another pain point further down the chain. So you're kind of always chasing your tail a little bit, but we can certainly see it being reduced by, like I said, the population of data to the clients up front. This is what we've got for you, is this the right entity, etc., etc. That's going to help, but again, it's continuous improvement, right? The world's going to change. There'll be a new check or balance will come in from a regulatory perspective that we'll need to bring in. This is not a one and done piece of where we are in technology world. We're looking at this as this is the first step of probably many steps. Yeah. And as your services continue to give us new releases and new services and new features, we want to keep embracing those as we go forward. Now, that whole onboarding step could be concatenated down even smaller, I agree, but you get to our earlier point of, there's nervousness, right? Automating things seamlessly when no humans involved in the process makes people nervous, especially in our industry. That's unrealistic, that goal. However, arming them with as much data as possible, as enriched as possible, and having it validated by someone on the client side and having an audit trail logged, I think is absolutely key. That's not to mean we're not going to get to full automation, but there's going to be full automation with a sign-off from a human at some point.